Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs have been listed by one of the prominent beat reporters in all of baseball, Mr. Bob Nightingale, as a potential sleeper. Tell me where you've heard this one before, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over some of the names that they've been mentioning that the Cubs could be targeting. They've been names we've mentioned on this channel multiple times. So, if you've been there, heard that, please feel free to continue. You can continue to look onto other videos that I have made over the week. But either way, let's dive right into it. So, the Cubs have been named a potential sleeping giant in this offseason. I know. Hold the presses, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way they're going to do this, right? Yeah, it is possible. I mean, we see the numbers, right? We know they made $500 million in 2024 revenue. God knows how much they made in 2025 revenue, and they only spent about $221 on the payroll. Their payroll kind of sits in that 140 to 150 range as it sits, pending certain deals. I can already read the comments now. Don't worry, I won't respond. But there is money to be spent. There are players to be had to improve this roster, and the Cubs have the potential to get better. There's no doubt about that. So, just before we hop on in and discuss some of these potential players we're going to be getting into, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone who continues to share their thoughts in the comments. I try my best to respond to them as much as I possibly can. You guys are the absolute best. Continue to foster this positive community here at Cubs Daily, and continue to share the like button. And of course, if you've already subscribed, you're the absolute best. And if you're new and you're enjoying the content, what are we doing? Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1K. So let's hop on into some of these names. We are going to lead off with the big lefty, Mr. Framber Valdez. Yes, the Houston Astro. I have brought him up in multiple videos previously, and I think Framber Valdez would be a fine addition to a baseball team, any baseball team, right? If you're going to go get a good, solid left-handed pitcher. Now, I think the Cubs should go get him, if Shota does not come back. Again, I do not need all this left-handed mumbo-jumbo on the same team, right? We don't need four left-handed pitchers that basically operate the same. But the one thing I do know that I'm getting with Framber Valdez is I know we're getting a playoff experienced pitcher. Last year he went 13-11 with a 3.66 ERA. His whip was 1.245. A little bit higher than he usually gets. He's still at a 3.8 WAR, and honestly, what was probably a down year for him. He did not do all that well. The year before, he posted really well, 2.91 ERA, had a 4.4 WAR. He was much better for that Astros squad. He could be on the downtrend, though. He's probably looking for a much longer-term deal. I don't think the Cubs are going to be all too interested in doing that with him. He's going to be 32 here in 9 days. His birthday's on November 19th. So either way, I personally don't think the Cubs are going to go get after him. But again, Bob Nightingale is one of the most connected beat writers in the business. Now, he's not always correct because no one's perfect by any means. But he named Framber Valdez by name. Like he said, the Cubs could be potentially looking at him. I'm sure the Cubs have kicked the tires on that name multiple times. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I don't think the Cubs should go out and get another left-hander, even though he is a proven number one pitcher of a staff. Do I think he's one of the best number ones in all of baseball? No, absolutely not. But do I know we can start him in big postseason games? Yes, I would feel very comfortable. I'd feel more comfortable starting him than I would, say, Shota, for example, or even Matt Boyd, who did very solid, don't get me wrong, but I know Framber Valdez has been there, and he has done that. He is a World Series champion, and sometimes you got to pay a premium to get a World Series champion on the team. Do I think the Cubs are going to sign one of these two guys? Yes. Do I think it's going to be Valdez? No. I do personally think they're going to be rocking back with their main man, Dylan Cease, who the Cubs did draft in the early 2010s. Like I mentioned before, he was a part of that deal for Jose Quintana back in 2017, paired along with Eloy Jimenez. So yes, a couple of names that we've gone over on this channel before, but now the names are starting to come out in rumors. They say the Cubs are going to be heavy aggressors Again, heavy aggressors. I don't look too much into it. I think there's just, it's a slow period in baseball, obviously. So we're starting to kick up some tires on some stuff. The winter meetings are in a little over a month. So I think that's when some big time deals will get done for these guys. But, Dylan Cease, obviously there's a connection there with the Cubs. We drafted him. We developed him, sort of. So I think the Cubs would definitely go back and look on Dylan Cease. I know a lot of you guys are concerned with Dylan Cease and his ERA, but ERA in baseball is kind of it is still a solid metric to kind of follow and understand, but it's one of the more dying metrics in that sense. And, last year was not his strongest year. There's no doubt about that, but 4.1 WAR in 2024. He's had a career high 6.4 WAR with the Sox in 2022. Overall, he's been a really, really solid major league pitcher. Now, I'm not sure that he's going to be warranted the money he thinks he's getting. So, again, does that fit with what the Cubs want to do? I know, comment section, no, it doesn't. But in this hypothetical sense, the Cubs should go get one of these two guys. I think these guys would help the staff for 2026 and beyond once we resume that whole ordeal. So, would you rather have Framber Valdez or Dylan Cease? Let me know in the comment section below. Obviously, we know that we want to go get one more big bat. I'm not sure who that's going to be, but talking about more pitchers here on Cubs Daily, we are going to have a third pitcher. It is official. Mr. Imai, the Japanese pitcher, has officially been posted by his team. So like Mr. Murakami, as we discussed yesterday, the teams will have 45 days to discuss. All 30 teams are eligible to go and get them. So they're going to discuss. They're going to see. This is my problem, though. Of the three pitchers that I've named in this show, Amai seems the least likely for the Cubs. Why? Because if the Cubs are going to ever do a long-term deal, remember, this is not what we do. If we're going to do a long-term deal, even though we did one with you, Darvish, if we're going to do a long-term deal, I just don't think it's going to be a guy that has been unproven in Major League Baseball. He has to still come over and show that he can succeed at this level. Major League Baseball is the best league in the world, and, he hasn't proven a thing yet. Does he have good stuff? Does he have overwhelming stuff? Is he kind of just more like a right-handed Shota Imanaga? Those are the kind of vibes that I'm getting from him. He does have a very quirky release point, which may help him be effective early on, but once Major League hitting catches up to him, how well will he truly do? So, of the three pitchers, I'm going to give you guys a ranking of the one I think the Cubs are most likely going to sign. Dylan Cease, number 1. Framber Valdez, number 2. And then Imai, number 3. Please feel free to drop in the comment section your ranking of who you think the Cubs will sign and or who you would like the Cubs to sign as as a starting pitcher for this staff. If you really think about it, this staff, so as it sits on the roster right now, right, we have Cade Horton, we have Matt Boyd, Jameson Taillon for another year, and then we have kind of two open-ish positions, right? We know Steele is coming back in the middle of the year. We still don't know how he's going to look. Javier Assad will hopefully come back healthy as well. Are you locking in a spot for him as well? Colin Ray is going to be back with the club. So, I mean, in my eyes, there's kind of really only one room for one more pitcher? Because what if Shota wants to accept that qualifying offer, right? What if he wants to come back on the team on a prove-it deal? So, again, not much room in the starting pitcher market in that sense. Maybe the Cubs make a move. Maybe they trade one of those guys. I don't know. Jed and the gang generally keep things very close to the vest. So when guys like Bob Nightingale are reporting this, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't necessarily be like, oh, yeah, this is definitely happening. There's definitely something being held back. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle in that sense. So, just before I wrap up today's episode of Cubs Daily, I just want to get into a couple of things. Cade Horton officially finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting. Drake Baldwin of the Atlanta Braves took that home. Congratulations, Drake, on a stellar rookie season. It's really hard for pitchers to get these kind of most valuable, award type deals. Not saying Cade Horton's the MVP, but I'm saying, Rookie of the Year is kind of a general position. And when position players and pitchers compete, it's very tough for a pitcher to beat a position player because a position player plays every day and they get opportunities every day to shine on that level. Also, some person left Cade Horton off the ballot, like, completely, so I don't know what they were smoking, but either way, Cade Horton did come in second. Fun tidbit, since he did come in second, he did earn a full year of eligibility, thus making him a free agent after the 2030 season. It was rumored earlier that Jed is going to try and get some of these young players extended post-arbitration control. I think, hint, hint, wink, wink, it's going to be Pete Crow Armstrong because they know once he reaches arbitration, his numbers are going to back up what he's going to want, and they might as well get ahead of that if at all possible. Second bit of news and notes, Kyle Hendricks officially retiring as a Chicago Cubs. I will do a little tribute to him later on this week. Kind of have to gather my thoughts on Kyle Hendricks because he was just absolutely a monster for the Chicago Cubs organization and just not in the way that one would truly expect in that sense. So congratulations, Mr. Hendricks, on a fantastic career. We will talk about you here on Cubs Daily very, very soon. And last but not least, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're truly enjoying the content here on Cubs Daily, I 100% appreciate you making it all the way to the end of the video. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. We got a lot of great members of this community hanging out, chatting Cubs baseball, and subscribe to the channel if you're truly enjoying it, or just hit that thumbs up button, free way to support the channel. You guys are the absolute best. I will talk to you guys very soon. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.